Good.
The ones.
It was further up.
Not like this.
I can make a car, no, I like.
Yeah.
Yes. You've got something that's working.
It's not my favorite thing to do. It's hard work.
Good. We'll call to order the regular scheduled meeting for October 9th, 2025 at 6 PM. Roll call, please.
Lisa Johansson. Here. Lori Faubert.
Here.
Jeff Brazel.
Here.
Sandy McDonald. Here. Kent Mitchell.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Childs.
Here.
Mayor Cole.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Father, thank you so much for this awesome city that we get to live in. I just pray that you would be with us today as we are making decisions for the city every time that we gather. I just pray that you would be in the midst, that you would bring peace to the meetings, that you would bring clarity, that you would bring just a joy to serve, God. And thank you. Thank you so much for our chief, Christian. And I just ask that, God, that you'd be with him today and with his family as they've had this loss. And God, I just ask for comfort for their family and just that your presence would be with them in Jesus' name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen.
Brings us to the approval of the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll second.
Anybody have any issues with it?
Roll call vote. Councilmember Faubert.
Aye.
Councilmember McDonald. Aye. Deputy Mayor Childs.
Aye.
Councilmember Johansson. Aye. Councilmember Brazel.
Aye.
Councilmember Mitchell.
Aye.
Mayor Cole.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Brings us down to reports. Couple things that are happening next week. We had a opportunity to pick up some funding that is the introduction tonight from the Matsu Health Foundation for the Wood Innovation Grant. And it's for $50,000, and for us to be able to get it to the seniors in a reasonable amount of time before snow falls and it gets cold, we're gonna have a special meeting next week to actually vote on that with the introduction tonight. By code, we're required 5 days, and so it'll be on the 16th at the special meeting, and it'll be advertised also. We will also introduce a property owner LID. As far as I know, it'll be the first in the city that I think could actually get through. So that'll be also an introduction for that. And the scheduled meeting for that is in December. Because the clerk needs additional time to run the ballots and all that for the LID. I'm not forgetting anything, am I?
No.
Chief, you had some news on the airlift folks there?
I'm gonna have to talk about it, I hope people online can hear me.
Grab me one real quick.
I just wanted to bring the council over. So we had been trying to lease out that office, the very far end of the building that used to have the EMS in it. And there was no interest voiced in it. So we reached out to Life Med Alaska. They're the primary medevac company for the Matsu Borough. They had voiced an interest in having a satellite office for paperwork, place for their flight medics and flight crews to have rest stops, because they have a ground ambulance division as well. And they were talking about possibly coming up with some sort of a partnership with us, an MOA, for the use of that side of the building. And they would cover all of their expenses plus pay a stipend to the city for it. We're still in the talking about it phase. I've got Mayor Cole involved because he's the only one that can actually negotiate on behalf of the city for contracts. So I should have something maybe possibly for you guys next week. I'll know then.
Okay, thanks, Chief. Does anybody have anything else any questions about any of the reports?
I do.
Go ahead.
And since the Public Works Director isn't here, Mr. Mayor, the question will be for you. I was just curious, I was reading the Public Works report, and it states that they have new staffing, a new Public Works clerk, and I'm just curious, why was that position not posted for the public? How did this position get staffed? Because if I was reading the handbook correctly, it should have been posted, because the person,
On which position are you talking
the
about?
Public Works clerk,
It was posted
posted where?
in the Indeed and
On the website.
the website.
It was on the city website?
Yeah.
Okay, I just don't remember seeing it, so that's why I wanted to ask.
Well, that nice little app, if you get it, I keep trying to push people to get it, that go.gov app. There is probably a way we can push those out from now on.
Yeah, we can.
But it wasn't on there. for
Not
this
on
app.
logo.
Exactly, so it wouldn't have done me any.
No, we
good to
wouldn't,
look
have-
at
yeah,
that.
we
Yeah.
didn't have the ability at that point. Oh, yeah.
One point with that, our code just requires consistency, and it uses that word consistency. And we have been using the bulletin board here in front of City Hall and the bulletin boards at the fire station. And so my concern is that it lacks consistency, because the two places that we have reiterated that we are consistent, we are not always consistent. So just a comment. Thank you.
One thing I was just thinking of, and actually bumped my thought there. Melissa is not here tonight because she's sick. So if you have anything with her specifically, then you said something about Public Works. I wasn't sure if that's all your questions.
Oh, no, it was just that part of the Public Works report I was just curious on, because I hadn't remembered seeing any posting for that job, so that's why I just had a question about it.
Okay. Go ahead, Samantha.
I just wanted to let council know, with the elections going on right now and seats could be changing, finance is going to a training for AML the 21st to the 23rd. So we will not be in the office because it's a 9 to 5 in Anchorage, the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. So we'll be back in the office on the 24th. I'll have my cell phone and I'll try to reach you guys if you need to get back to you on breaks, but I'll have limited access to my laptop until after 5 p.m.
And that's a sales tax conference or something?
Yeah, it's about the remote sellers sales tax, how to collect taxes. It's through AML, and they hold it, I think yearly, but this year, since we changed Chapter 4 and Finance has it, I thought it'd be beneficial for both of us to go to this training and get more in depth. I have more questions since the last time I went about how different communities are doing things, and so I think that we'll learn a lot.
The other interesting fact, before we completely move on from reports, is our IT guy is buzzing around here tonight. The cybersecurity work, we should be finished up hopefully this week or by tomorrow, which means we got new servers. That's what's allowing us to do some of the broadcasting now across the lines. And so as far as for the digital footprint, the city should be coming much better in the next month or so as things get kind of put together and straightened out.
I just had just a point of clarity. There was on the app that is available, there's a QR code there. On the app, I think it's the 4th notification that I received, and it's still on there, is the employment opportunity for Public Works clerk.
Oh,
It's on the app.
should I get it?
So,
Thank you.
Yep.
thank you. I didn't even know that it made that.
I remembered seeing it, so I just looked it up.
Okay, that brings us to public participation, and we have a special guest, Becca, who's standing in for Tawny Boothie on hazard mitigation plan.
Thank you. My name is Rebecca Scottahawk, last name spelled Skjauthaug. I'm coming here from the Matsu Borough. I'm a current planner at the Matsu Borough, and I've been working side by side with Tawny on updating the Matsu Borough's hazard mitigation plan, which I begin where you guys are also doing your own hazard mitigation plan. Is that true? I think
We're working on it. Yeah.
Awesome. That's great. The hazard mitigation plan is something that gets updated every 5 years. The borough's been very proactive in participating in the hazard mitigation plan, and one of the benefits of participating in this plan is you receive federal funding. So federal funding through FEMA programs, and it's mitigation funding, response funding, and recovery funding, and also some research that you can kind of tie into those things as well. So coming up at the end of February, the hazard mitigation plan for the Matsu Borough is going to expire. And so we are doing just an abbreviated update because there are 2 new hazards that have been identified in the Matsu Borough, but these 2 hazards are definitely going to require more extensive research to be done with them as well. Living in Alaska, we're all aware that there's numerous hazards: flooding, ice storms, droughts, earthquakes, all sorts of stuff. And it has been identified by a group of geologists that we are now experiencing the hazard of permafrost melt, which is resulting in potentially very large landslides. There's a spot above Victory Bible Camp that was noticed to be very vulnerable to this hazard. This particular permafrost landslide could result in a 120-foot rock wall that goes all the way down and into the river and cuts off the river if it was to ever go. So we are hoping to get this hazard mitigation plan through, to get some feedback from the public and continue the research. Thankfully, this citizen science group was able to tell the state DOT, and the state DOT worked with us to get this new hazard into the hazard mitigation plan. The second hazard that has been identified that's recent is a tsunami hazard, which seems quite funky here in Alaska at times, but there's definitely some low-lying areas, especially I'm from the Butte, so over off South Connect, that are vulnerable to tsunamis. Obviously, one thing that you do if you hear tsunami or get that buzz on your phone is just head to higher ground. But one thing that we've been able to obtain through identifying the tsunami hazard is they're going to install alarms, tsunami alarms in the area where the hazard is potential. So that's been something that's been really good. Tawny does a wonderful job of working with the EOC, the Emergency Operations Center, and Casey Cook to get this stuff going. So I do have some handouts that can take you to a storing map. So thankfully our GIS team created a really cool storing map. And the storing map addresses some previous hazards that have happened here in the borough and some of the recovery and responses to those hazards. This is going to be a kind of smaller update. We have some funding that's been held up, and once we get that funding and we can get some more LiDAR data into some different populations in different areas and help identify potential permafrost landslides. So this will be something that comes back around, but we're always open and welcome to working with you guys on your hazard mitigation plan. I don't think that these hazards are to one specific place, but they definitely can affect the borough as a whole. So I do have some handouts. If you scan the QR code, it will take you to the story map for GIS. It's just actually quite neat to look at. There's a survey at the end if you would like to participate and just answer some questions. That's great. If not, we just want to let you guys know that this is going on. The planning commission meeting in January, and I think assembly meeting in February, fingers crossed that those go timely, will be when it's reintroduced to the public and will be open again for public comment. And I think that's it. If anybody has any questions about the hazard mitigation or reasons that we participate in, I'm happy to help. Yeah.
Thank you, Becca. Now, how's Tony doing?
Yeah, she's actually at Gateway, so we were dividing a conference today, yeah. Good for now, she's having her foot surgery coming up soon, so I'll be taking over for her.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, we have no public hearing. Audience comment. Is anybody in the audience? Huh?
Rosemary.
Rosemary.
I'm slow about getting over.
We have time.
And we have a better mic now, too.
You what?
Better microphone.
Oh, how did you get that?
A week or so ago.
I know most of you here, but for those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Rosemary Burnett. Many years ago, I was in the mayor's position. And it was by accident. My husband had won the position and he died the same day he was supposed to be seated. So I had the whole city of Houston asked me to take his place. And I knew nothing about being in politics about it. So for all of you people that don't, it's your first season sitting in. Congratulations. Of course, all of you were in last year, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So I know most of you. So
The change
anyway,
takes place next week, Rosemary.
I thought it was tonight.
No, it'll be Monday night.
Well, anyway, I understand that we have a lot of people that are interested in establishing our parks. And I'd like to see our city for the parks in town. And by the way, I just got out of the hospital a little bit, so I'm kind of slow at talking. But I would like to thank this fire chief over there. He's did a wonderful job helping with the fire things, so. But anyway, and Bob Hall, of course, everybody knows who he is. And he's always been contributing. But we would like to help you out with it. And I am the president of the Lions Club, which I'm hoping this is my last year, but I am getting old. But the Lions would like to donate $2,600 to the community to help out with our projects around City Hall, you know, this. And Bob is also, he is, I forgot what it was. Bob, what would you like?
2,600 to the community.
Anyway, he's wanted to go from, because the Houston City, and I was always, a long time ago, I used to be the head of this chamber. But Bob's head of the chamber now. And, oh, you beat the line by $100. So that's unusual. And anyway, I'm the vice president of the City Chamber of Commerce, and we're going to give you $2,600. That's why I said he could beat the Lions by $2,500. I'll have to check with him about that. But anyway, sorry I'm having such a hard time talking. But hopefully this will be my last year for the Lions president. So I've only had it for about 26 years. And anyway, who do I present this to?
Samantha, would you?
I'll make sure it goes where it's supposed to. Hi, I'm the treasurer.
You're the treasurer?
I'm the treasurer.
I'm good. Been in very good positions.
Yeah.
So here is your 2 checks. Make sure they're spent wisely.
I will.
And set the numbers high, up high.
Yes, we will.
So it's nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rosemary.
That speech.
I hope not.
I hope.
Well, it's a very nice thing to do, Rosemary and Robert. And, when we were looking at trying to change the Parks and Rec to an actual enterprise fund and hoping that they would spark donations like that. One of the big things is where people want to make sure the money's being well kept. And I can assure you, Samantha watches it like a hawk. So it'll be spent where it's supposed to be spent, and it'll be spent wisely.
Well, let's hope that some of the other people in the city donate quite a bit of money also. That we have people that live in this city for many, many years and have a lot of money. So,
Well, it's funny you should mention that, and not to get too off the thing here, and I'd ask the grace from the council. We had asked for a 0.5 cent sales tax at one point, just to try to get the Parks Rec. There's actually going to be more money donated in the 2 years since we will have set up the enterprise fund than we would have ever made off the sales tax. So it was option B, and option B works. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Anyone else in the audience? Seeing none. Go to the consent agenda. And the only thing on it is the minutes from the previous September 11th meeting.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
I don't see any reason not just to call the roll call.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Councilmember Mitchell,
Aye.
Councilmember Faubert,
Aye.
Councilmember Brazel,
Aye.
Councilmember McDonald,
Aye.
Councilmember Johansson,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Childs,
Aye.
Mayor Cole.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
One thing I forgot to mention earlier is, this is actually on YouTube tonight. So anybody that's on YouTube watching, if you would allow any comments to go to the clerk tonight on sound or any of that stuff as we refine this and get this to work a little better, that would be certainly helpful. Meant to do that at the start. Unfinished business. This is where we left off last week with the attorney's investigative report. Well, I'll make a motion that we release the report for the benefit of the employees and the public.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I think the biggest discussion is Councilmember, Councilmember McDonald's thoughts.
I appreciate that. Thank you. My main concern is it's been on the agenda twice last month as a revision and a redacting version of the memo that the council would consider whether or not to release it. The main concern is if we go all the way back to August 14th, there was actually a motion made by the mayor, and it was seconded by me, because it was seconded by me because the actual memo or amendment to this whole investigation and making it executive session was to prepare a public version of the attorney-client privileged memo dating July 16th, 2025, and share the client attorney privileged memo with Councilmember McDonald's legal counsel, and provide such memo to the city clerk for distribution if distribution is approved by Councilmember McDonald. So twice it's gone on, and you just made a motion that whether it would be approved by the council. The council already approved this to be made public at that August 14th meeting. It passed 6 with 6 votes. 1 vote was inaudible. And the only prerequisite to move forward was whether it would be approved by me. So my main concern is process, and this investigation, like the multiple threats that have come out of this administration, was to silence me. At the last meeting, there was praise for Charlie Kirk and his expression of freedom of speech and his willingness to die for it. Yet the sad thing is that the same freedom of speech has been under attack in these council chambers. The goal of this investigation was to determine, number 1, if Councilmember McDonald's conduct was unlawful, and number 2, whether my conduct created a risk of legal action against the city. Why was this investigation limited to me? I know everyone has witnessed the actions of others on the council speaking up for their beliefs. I believe the results of this election proves that the people of this city have also seen it. Many are ready to be done with this current state of affairs. I've not been the only person under the legal attack, which has created a huge legal expense. The mayor's report shows that $10,450,000 has gone to Burton, Horch, Bittner, and Charoux for this investigation against me, which at that meeting in August was proved that I did nothing against city or state law. And the way it is actually worded and was mentioned at that meeting is that Councilmember McDonald has not engaged in conduct expressly prohibited. Expressly means in clear, definite manner. I did not do anything prohibited against the law. And then it goes on to say, under current Houston state municipal code or state of Alaska law, there is no other law but current law. Old law is old law. New laws that have not, or laws to be passed, are not the laws of the city or the state. So I have not expressly broken the law. But $10,400 was spent to find that out. Thousands of dollars were also spent on legal action against Mr. Staniford. And then to have all of these funds wasted because no one showed up for the trial.
Lori Faubert.
The case was dropped for lack of city representation in their own case. More money spent on the ongoing attacks against Mr. Wilson. Lots of city money spent as a weapon against free speech. Our job as council members is to have a fair and open debate over issues facing our city.
Lori Faubert.
Not leaving it up to the whim of anyone to go after every grant to inflate our revenue stream and to distract from the 2 to 3 public works staff with Parks and Rec.
Point of order.
I would not change a thing, nor would I do anything differently. I have worked hard and asked questions. That is not against the law. The scope of this investigation was also to recommend laws or policies to the council for consideration that would protect city employees from verbal reprimand or direction from individual council members. My suggestion is for the future council to review these laws or policies carefully before passing them. In regards to whether the council should vote to make this memo public, as I stated, the council has already voted. The motion was made by Carter Cole, and it was written by Holly Wells, the attorney. What the council should be expecting from me is an approval. I want to make this clear, that all the evidence, the specific analysis, which was supposed to declare me guilty, has not been redacted, but has been removed completely, as directed by the attorney and the mayor. This was stated in an email to me dated September 9th, 2025. I do want to make clear that everything I have said is already public information. Everything I have questioned or stated has been in public, and I will not take my words back, nor do I regret them. With that said, I request that the public version of the memo be made public, which waives the attorney-client privilege protection as approved by the council on August 14th of 2025. And everyone can read for themselves exactly what has been going on, except with all the evidence minus.
Would any other council member want to weigh in on that?
I would love to. Okay, because I think that some framework here is important to cover. The city, just like any other business, has to operate within the constraints of the law. Just like any other business, if multiple staff members file a complaint against someone in leadership, that business, in this case being the city, has two choices. They can choose not to act on those complaints, and if those folks lawyer up and prove that there was some sort of an issue, then the city becomes culpable for not taking action on those complaints. The other option is to say, employees, we hear your complaints, and we are going to hire some legal counsel to investigate those complaints and decide whether or not corrective action needs to be taken. Doing nothing is not a choice. Doing nothing allows the city to be culpable for these complaints. We then become the target of the complaint because we did not act to protect the employees. That is what happened here. The city is legally compelled to act on harassment complaints by the staff towards leadership. If we do nothing, then we are on the same side of the litigation as the person that is being complained against. This was not a choice. The city did not want to spend $10,000 on litigation. It's what you have to do. It's that simple. This did not come out of thin air. If the city had not acted and those employees went and got lawyers on their own and were successful in litigation, it would have been the city that was on the hook. That is how the law works. It's that simple. None of us wanted this to happen. Anyone else?
I would just like to agree with Mr. Brazel, and I would also like to say that bringing other topics into this particular situation, like mentioning other people like Joseph Stanistreet and any other individual that has an ongoing thing with the city, has nothing to do with the topic. Jeff Brazel is absolutely correct. We were responsible as a city to investigate the complaints of our workers, no matter who it is against. If we didn't do that, then we're not doing our job. And unfortunately, that costs money. That means that we as leadership need to be more mindful of how we treat our employees. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I would just like to say that we not only went through a training. When I first got elected to city council, there was a training by our attorney that explained to us our lane and to stay in that lane. And when that lane is exited, we have an obligation, and as Mr. Brazel was pointing out, that we have to be careful with the way that we conduct ourselves as council members with city employees. I brought up at two meetings, one of them in particular where I read out of the handbook, that the employees should not be in a city council meeting or in their offices be subjected to any form of harassment by the public or any council members. So when I brought that up, there was a reason for that. The litigation that we have had to go under, the legal, or the attorneys that we've had to hire to investigate, Councilmember McDonald mentioned 3 cases. These were not to investigate violations of free speech. That's a ridiculous claim. These were cases where we as city council had to decide to hire an attorney to protect the rights of city employees, not just in the office, but also out on the street, when they're doing road work, when they're out there doing their jobs, when they're in the office doing their jobs, and they're subjected to any form of leadership out of their lane, and the complaint is made, or troopers are called in some cases for the safety of the employee because the threat's being made. These are things that have to be managed by leadership. That is us. We have to hire legal counsel, or we could be on the other end of that litigation. So yes, it was necessary. None of us wanted to be here, but it had to happen.
Anyone else? Okay, I will cover a little bit in further detail. As the HR officer for the city, if I don't listen to the employees' complaints, I'm negligent on my job. If I have, the way our handbook is, if it's complaints by the public or by any employee or council member, I have to respond. The first two complaints I had, I managed. When I got the third complaint, it was too much. I called our attorney and I asked him for direction in his opinion, what I should do. And because he can't participate because he represents the entire council. He recommended first of all, to have a council meeting and allow the council to weigh in. I called the council and we were presented with the information, and I had Joe also there so that they could hear from him, but like I said, he's limited in what advice he can give because he does it for the whole. We didn't have any other choice but to hire an outside attorney for this particular case. I think they did a marvelous job in what they've done. They went through, and it wasn't just one, they looked at the entire. There wasn't one council member that wasn't looked at. I myself was looked at through that process. Their findings are what the findings, and I believe we'll be turning over to the public tonight. And that's after, we didn't limit it to any one person. It was for them to go back and listen and look at the meetings and discuss with employees where there was issue. And I can tell you, I had a spouse very angry because.
And you are getting into personal details that you have struck from the record. You are speaking more about what is being released.
I'm speaking period,
No.
please.
Yes, and you are, and I would
So
ask the lawyer to consider what you're saying as above and beyond.
Joe,
what
if
should
I
be.
can't, if I'll
Because
misspeak,
you
please stop me.
deleted it from the records.
Yeah, I would.
And now you're making it personal.
I'd agree with
Yes.
Councilmember McDonald that if it's been taken from the public version, then you shouldn't mention any of that.
Taken from the public, what do you mean?
Well, I understand that the public version has been redacted, or parts of what the investigators said have been taken.
No, this part was never even into the record.
Oh, so we're adding information.
This was a personal experience I had with a spouse.
Okay, well, I mean.
So, yeah, it's appropriate for him to add to the record now? That I don't feel is appropriate either, Mr. Say.
Well, wouldn't you like to at least
No,
allow me to be able to say
Of
what
course.
the
Give
issue
you your
is?
freedom of speech, of course.
Thank you. So, in a situation where a spouse had to sit by and listen to their, one of our workers be accused of things at multiple meetings infuriated them. And with good reason, because it was unfounded. And that is not even into this, but that is one of the things that I weighed in before I went to our city attorney. So it wasn't, no one was narrowed out. No one was singled out. The entire thing was turned over to an independent attorney, and they did their own findings. And that what their findings are is what is in the record. And with that, I have nothing more to add.
Well, if I may, if we're going to bring up spouses, the amount of times that Mr. McDonald has had to sit here and listen to people abuse Councilmember McDonald when she's trying to speak and bring up things, it can go both ways, because the way she has been talked to up here, if some of these people's wives or girlfriends or daughters were sitting up here, I highly doubt that they would be spoken to the way she has been spoken to. So he has just as much right to say things about abuse if we want to bring in spouses. So I think it's absolutely disgusting that something like that would be said in the matter of Councilmember McDonald, because she has been subjected to abuse sitting up here, just trying to get to the root of problems in the city. So that's what I have to say about that.
I think you may have been missing the point to this.
Oh, I
It
know.
was about the employees.
And she's sitting up here representing the city, taking abuse. So if you want to come out about spouses, Mr. McDonald, there's a public portion coming up again. Feel free to speak.
They already know what I think of them. I don't need to say it again.
For that matter, if we're going to speak up about it, I would say that every single person on the council has suffered abuse at the hands of someone in our community and or on the council. So I don't think anybody has the market on that.
And that's why I mentioned that this report should have never been specifically picking me out of any of the council members. The problem was, is this goes all the way back to January, when there was a vote to request to have our city attorney give 3 attorneys. My name was never solely picked out and mentioned, even in an executive session, that this was about me until I saw it on the agenda. So to talk about being harassed, I was on vacation on the East Coast, and I get a call from the clerk saying, Councilmember McDonald, you are the, and lots of very nervous that I am the product, the person of an executive session. And I hear this on my recording because I didn't answer my phone because I'm on vacation, and to call the mayor at my convenience. Oh, how very nice to find out that I am on the executive session. This started in January. My name was not mentioned. Then in April, Councilmember Brazel and Councilmember Faubert were chosen as the 2 council members to be the go-between and choose the lawyer firm for personnel matters. Again, my name didn't ever come out. So even when you see reports in the newspaper and it says was unanimously approved, well, yes, I too wanted to get to the bottom of this. This was unanimously approved. I approved it as well. I didn't know it was about me. And then to find out that it was and there's an executive session about me, rather irritating, I have to say, for sure. So it has been my approval, as the attorney Holly Wells suggested, has been given. I want this all to come out in the public for everyone to see as much and hear as much as possible, but this was harassment for sure on my part. I have done nothing but question, which my job as a council member is to question the staff and to question the ideas and the items on the agenda before the public. We're not just supposed to sit up here and just vote yes or no. We're to question what's being presented to us. And that will happen again this evening with the information that's before us. We're not just little robots that just say, yes, oh, that's a good idea. No, that's not a good idea. So in questioning if that's called harassment, then I think everybody better pull up their big boy pants or get a different job.
I have a question for clarification. Was there any complaints made by any city employee on any other council member?
No.
Okay, thank you.
No one else.
Also, I would also like to add that it's not the asking of the questions, Councilwoman McDonald, but the manner in which the questions are asked. So just a thought there.
Well, and I think it goes even deeper than that. It's the insinuation that fraud and things go in. When I have a treasurer that's worked 3 years diligently to get this city to where it's spotless, and to make those accusations so that their spouse has to listen to those things like there's fraud going on in the city in our books is outrageous, actually.
And if I just may, with one more comment then, fraud. There was a dump truck that sat out in this parking lot that did not have appropriated funds. And I was so angry because we're sitting in here as a council to vote to approve the dump truck that is sitting out there. One example, okay? The end. I'm done. If we could, let's move on.
Well, no, we can't, because now
Well, I'm
you've
done.
done it. No.
I said, I am, that's it. You can say whatever you want.
Dump truck had an action memorandum that authorized me to purchase it.
No
There-
money
there wa-
appropriated.
there was a-
You need an
there
ordinance
was
to
additional-
appropriate money.
That's my floor. The attorney was later, in our CIP at the time, it had.
I'm calling a recess.
When I'm finished?
No, you can't. It's non-debatable, and it's happened to me 100 times.
Go ahead, recess, 10 minutes. the Public Works Director had actually found. And the question then came in, was that legal? We put it to the city council. He recommended that we also pass an ordinance of it after the fact. And so we went ahead and did that also, and it was passed. So that put to bed any issue about the original or the first small dump truck that was purchased. And it provided wonderful snow plowing for the rest of that summer. So with that, I would like to go ahead and vote.
Roll call vote. Motion's been made and seconded to release the report for the benefit of the people and the employees. Councilmember Brazel.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Childs.
Aye.
Councilmember Faubert.
Aye.
Councilmember Johansson. Aye. Councilmember McDonald.
Aye.
Councilmember Mitchell.
Aye.
Mayor Cole.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Brings us to the new business. Ordinance number 2525. Clerk, would you read that into the record?
Ordinance number 2525, an ordinance of the Houston City Council to accept and appropriate $50,000 from the Matsu Health Foundation to the City of Houston Firewood for Community Program, and set the public hearing for October 16th, 2025.
I'll make a motion. Oh, actually, that's an ordinance. Yeah, I'll make a motion to set the public hearing, or introduce it tonight, October 9th, and set the public hearing for the 16th, 2025.
I'll second.
Just a little background on it. This is what I was talking about earlier. To get this accepted and appropriated, I have a trigger on the computer. Once we accept it, the funds are available. So that's why we've moved it up this close. It's interesting, just so council know how effective our program was last year. Wasilla and a couple other of the communities have now done the same thing, and so we're now competing with them for the funds. So it was the Matsu Health Foundation thought it was a wonderful program for our seniors and veterans, so they have offered the additional funding. Anyone have anything else?
There's an issue that I see, if I'm not wrong, section 2, it's lines 28, 29, 30. Why is that referencing the 9 roads reconstruction flood damaged area if this is for the Wood Grant program?
And which one is it?
28, 29, 30, those
Page
lines.
39.
It says appropriate a total of $50,000 to reimburse funds. The Fund 01 expended on the 9 roads reconstruction flood damaged area. Accounts reimbursed were affected by the administration of the 9 roads reconstruction project. So that doesn't even.
So I would make a motion that this be postponed to another meeting because the changes are substantive enough that it would not be sufficient for amendment.
Well, I'd like to make an amendment instead.
I'm sorry, I just made an amendment and I would ask if.
Well, we'll vote on
Second
it.
that, thank you.
Anybody want to second that?
I'll second it.
Okay. There is an option of roll call vote.
Motion's been made and seconded to postpone until time certain.
Which would be,
You want the November?
yes, please.
November-
Or I would just say, you're having a meeting October 16th, which was going to be your public hearing. I would suggest that you would put it to October 16th, which would be the next meeting.
Councilmember Johansson?
I agree. Thank you.
Motion's been made and seconded to postpone until time certain of October 16th for introduction. All those in favor? Oh, sorry, roll call vote. Councilmember Faubert?
Nay.
Councilmember Johansson?
Aye.
Councilmember Mitchell?
Nay.
Councilmember Brazel?
Aye.
Councilmember McDonald?
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Childs?
Nay.
Mayor Cole?
Nay. And then I would like to offer a amendment.
Motion fails, 4 nays, 3 yeas. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't hear. Councilmember Brazel.
I would like to strike everything past Fund 1.
On line 28.
On line 29 and 30, just strike them.
And should we also remove to reimburse funds?
No.
So it just reads appropriate a total of $50,000 to Fund 01.
Oh, yeah, we could, yes, we can do that. Thank you. So clerk, add also reimburse funds to, and then it'll correctly read out appropriate a total of $50,000 to Fund 01. It'll track the same under the grant number that's there, so nothing else, there's nothing else that really needs to be done to it. Oh, is there anyone interested in seconding it?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I would ask legal counsel if that is too much information within and pretty detailed information to just strike.
So, yeah, this is Joe Levesque, the city attorney. So generally, if it is a substantive change, then you'd have to have it would have to be introduced later. I don't think this is substantive because it identified the fund that it was going to. It just had some language about the 9 roads and reimbursing. So I think it's fine to make that. I think it's more of a clerical error.
It was.
Than anything else.
It was leftover.
So I think it's fine.
Anybody else? Roll call vote, please.
Motion's been made and seconded to strike from line 28 to reimburse funds and remove line 29 and 30. So section 2 purpose reads appropriate a total of $50,000 to Fund 1. Councilmember Mitchell,
Aye.
Councilmember Johansson? Nay. Councilmember McDonald?
Nay.
Councilmember Faubert?
Aye.
Councilmember Brazel?
Nay.
Deputy Mayor Childs?
Aye.
Mayor Cole?
Aye.
Motion carries 4 yeas, 3 nays.
I have some questions in regards to this. We're presented with this ordinance and a letter from Matson Health Foundation saying that this $50,000 has been awarded, and an email also from them saying congratulations. What the council doesn't have any information to be moving forward here is who will be staffing, who will be doing the work, how long will this program last? What's the cost per cord of wood produced, the labor, the material, the fuel? What are the stipulations of the grant? We don't actually have a copy of the grant, so we don't know what the parameters are. Once again, the council is not given sufficient information to make a wise and informed decision.
The expense is to expend $50,000 to get firewood in whatever quantity that it will bring to these seniors and disabled veterans in the city. There was no stipulations other than use the money to do that. Currently, Public Works would take 2 of their people and provide that hopefully before snow flies. But it could be done anytime that they have some time available to remediate dead trees off the city park property. And I don't know what else. I mean, there's no required amount to spend per cord. Hopefully they can get more cords cheap. The only difference is this program was going to be used as there's no stipulation on the cost, other than the Parks and Rec had actually asked that if any of the seniors wanted to make a donation to the Parks and Rec, that would be a thing that could be done. But there's no requirement for it. This is just $50,000 the Matsu Health Foundation has offered the city.
Through the mayor, I'd like to say that I think what Councilwoman McDonald was saying is it would be nice to have the parameters of that grant or the more information about that grant included in the packet.
Well, so there's the history behind that was we actually we're slotted to get $100,000 from them if we would have got the same federal guidelines, and that was what we were actually trying for. But Melissa's not here tonight, and she has some more details about that she could share. In lieu of that, since we weren't going to get the federal money and use this as a match, they offered this just so that our seniors would have wood this year. And so there was no requirement other than we use it like we did last year. And there is no other paperwork available for that grant. It was a, here's $50,000, please provide wood to your seniors and disabled veterans like you did last year.
Thank you for that clarification.
And I will actually have Melissa answer or put an email out to the council if there's any other details that are available. But to my knowledge, it was, the whole conversation was done in a day, and I got an email that said, congratulations.
Just to wrap it up and to go off what you said, so the Wood Innovations Grant will use public work employees at the expense of road work, meaning that no matter what, the public works employees can only be in one place at one time. So though the expense won't come out of the public works budget, it will come out of the grant. We're still very limited in people who do the road maintenance work, the technical work of getting out there and working the pieces of equipment to either repair the roads or to brush or whatever they're going to do. I would have no problem with this if we would actually say we are actually going to hire 2 people from the community that have experience in dealing with wood and leave our public works employees alone. Let them do what they've been hired to do, is take care of the roads. But to add something like this, we are right now administration heavy. We have 7 administrative workers. We have 2, possibly 3 employees who actually do the operations work of maintaining the roads. I just find it preposterous when we have people saying that they want their roads taken care of, and then we accept free money, money that was just given to us by telephone call, and we just called them and they gave us money, and how great this is in taking our public works employees and moving them to do a different job.
I think that the purpose section that we just truncated down to 7 words and a number is a great missed opportunity for transparency. This isn't the first year that we've done this. We could have taken the time to look at how the money was spent last year and say, okay, $50,000. This was, X amount of it was spent in fuel, X amount of it was spent in staff time, X amount of it was repaired broken equipment. There could have been, this purpose section could have been used to provide a lot more information than appropriate a total of $50,000 to Fund 01. I think this was a missed opportunity to explain to people how this money will be spent, how it was spent last time, and the intention this time. We have precedent. We know how it was spent. It would have been a fairly simple exercise to disclose that.
I agree with Councilmember Brazel, especially with all the questions that came up last year in regards to the program and how things were done. And like Councilmember Brazel stated, now that that's done, we have the numbers to look at, we have the numbers to present. And here it says in one email, grant agreement, which that was the first thing I wrote when I was going over this paperwork. Where is the grant agreement? I want to see more info on this because I just think this is very open-ended and doesn't give all the info we need to properly pass it on and act on it. This email says confirmation that the city's been awarded the 50,000. This one says grant agreement, but there's no details. And where there should have been details, it was just apparently a bad copy and paste job. I don't know. So there just should be much more detail in the way I'm looking at it if we want to move forward with something like that.
And don't get me wrong, I fully support this program.
Absolutely.
Just the execution of it could have been a little more graceful.
Agreed.
We can always do a better job. There's no question about that. There's a time management thing with Melissa and myself that has been pretty used. I actually wrote this for her. And so that's why I know it's a redaction issue. I forgot to pull a section out of it. The account numbers I got from Samantha, so I know all that portion is correct. But Melissa's been extremely busy dealing with the roads and all the other projects that were put on her this year. And so, yeah, we can always do better. But I can tell you that staff is working nonstop. And if you're going to deprive the community over something as silly as some verbiage, when we all went through what the program was last year, it's still posted online if anybody wants to look at it. So I mean, I can hear what you guys are saying, and I can say that, yes, we can do a better job, but I think it's of trying to use it as a way to turn down a grant for providing the community with firewood, and I think that's crazy.
I'm not going to be made to feel guilty for asking things to be done
And it wasn't
properly
meant to be.
and transparent. Nobody is trying to kill the program. It is, when you bring forth something, you should bring it forth with the proper information. Everybody is busy. Everybody has things going on. But if you want the council to act on something, then you should make sure you have time in your busy schedule to put in all the information needed for them to act on what you are bringing forth. I shouldn't have to go to the website and dig up things that could be very easily put in this log, this information, grant agreement, print it out, 7 copies, there you go. I shouldn't have to be doing that. It should be given to the council in a packet for us to go, okay, here we go, everything's here, then we can move on. It's not about denying the people anything, because as Councilmember Brazel stated, this is a good program. It did a lot of good for folks last year, and I'm 100% for that. I am not for getting a lack of information and being asked to go ahead and just pass it anyway because we're all busy and sometimes things get left out. That's not how I operate.
Well, tonight is an introduction.
Correct.
And I would be glad to go back and try to get whatever information you guys want for the actual hearing. But it's an introduction. I'm hearing what you're saying, and I would be glad to get the information that you're requesting, but we're setting a hearing.
I also don't see any reason to push this back another month because of a clerical error, because there is, I don't know if anyone likes this word or not, there's snow coming. And I, as somebody who likes to cut firewood, I like to get it done when it's not snowing on me, and people want firewood stacked up in their driveway or in their safe place before the snow comes, before it gets too cold. And so I think this is an awesome opportunity that the Mat-Su Health Foundation has given us to provide seniors with firewood. I'd also like to remind everyone that the Public Works Department is not the roads department only. It covers many aspects of the city, and if the idea is to never deviate from the roads, then nothing else in the city would get done that needs attention. there's so many things that the Public Works Department does and oversees that, I mean, yes, filling potholes are important. I think providing firewood for seniors who can't afford it is more important than filling potholes. I would rather drive on a pothole knowing there's a senior there somewhere that's getting firewood. And I have no problem at all having the Public Works deviate from the roads for a bit to get free money to run operation machinery to give as many cords of firewood out as possible for free. I think it's an awesome way for the city to give back to the community, and I'm excited about it. So.
Well, I think it's important to distinguish what we're doing. We're setting a public hearing. Tonight's not the public hearing. Tonight is the date we're setting for a public hearing. The public hearing, I've already said, will be on the 16th, where you can certainly come and make all kinds of comments. I'm hearing tonight that we need to provide the council some additional information on it. I have no problem with that. But trying to postpone a hearing, setting a hearing, I just can't agree with that.
Call the question.
Main motion as amended to introduce tonight ordinance 2525, an ordinance of the Houston City Council to accept and appropriate $50,000 from the Mat-Su Health Foundation to the City of Houston Firewood for Community Program, and set the public hearing for October 16th, 2025. Deputy Mayor Childs?
Aye.
Councilmember Johansson?
Nay.
Councilmember Brazel?
Aye.
Councilmember McDonald?
Nay.
Councilmember Mitchell?
Aye.
Councilmember Faubert?
Aye.
Mayor Cole?
Aye.
Motion carries 5 yeas, 2 nays.
Brings us to resolution number 2513, a resolution of the Houston City Council requesting the Mat-Su-Susitna Borough provide area-wide animal control powers. Anyone want to make a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2513.
I'll second.
A little background on this one. During the mayor's meeting, all three cities had asked the borough to see if there was possibility of them picking up animal-wide control of the entire borough so that it would be consistent on how the animals are treated, and that it would save, by doing that, they would do a mill rate adjustment borough-wide. We could reduce our cost in what it costs us to do that and use it better in our own budget. And Wasilla and Palmer are also writing resolutions to send to the borough to see if their assembly will actually pick it up. So that's the history of that. It was also covered at a special meeting that I attended for the borough safety thing on a Saturday back in August, I think, or September. Yeah, August it was. So the assembly had heard about it, but until the cities actually take action, they won't move on it. So, and what we're trying to do is target July 1, 2026, which coincides with their budget start and ours. So hopefully they can get their paperwork and their stuff done by then. So if you're opposed to it, the borough would be the place to stop the action. Well, or your council. Any other questions?
So can I just clarify then? This is simply a resolution to bring forth to the Borough Assembly for them, because of the way the powers are acted, we're a second-class city, how all that is. It's simply to be brought forward to the Assembly for the Assembly to take action on whether or not.
Okay, so just to be very clear, the borough attorney actually said he wasn't even for sure the assembly actually needed to do that yet. What they would have to do is approve any millage adjustment to do it. Because the way he interpreted it is they never really relinquished it, their power area-wide. So in the area-wide, all we're asking for, go ahead and pick up with inside the city. So it could be as simple as a manager function and it included into a millage adjustment. But I am not at the borough. It's hard enough to do the city, so.
I was gonna say, wouldn't the millage, wouldn't that have to be voted on by
the
the
assembly.
public? Or not just the assembly? The assembly would have to do an ordinance, but wouldn't it also have to go to the voters to adjust the mill?
No, they adjust the
No.
mill every year based upon the cost of things. And if they don't get enough through the millage, they raise your assessment value. So you lose both ways.
Well, it appears we might be losing both ways, because unless they also decide to lower our mill rate within the city for losing that service, we're going to be paying for it at the borough as an area-wide service. My concern comes in where we're actually talking about on line 17 and 18, the City of Houston requests the Matanuska Borough provide area-wide animal control powers. The City of Houston would repeal Houston Municipal Code Title VI upon the boroughs taking on area-wide animal control. So what we're actually doing is we're putting the cart before the horse here, and because the repealing a title has to be done by ordinance, we would have to strike it, and we would have to do that by ordinance, which would mean it would need an introduction and it would need to come before as a public hearing. We haven't even asked the public if that is what they would desire. With this being a resolution, there is not a time for public hearing on this. We don't know what the additional cost is. So what we're saying is that, yes, we would like to turn over what is now considered a non-area-wide service, meaning that the city pays for it now. And we would like it to become an area-wide service, meaning that the borough would pay for it. But of course, we pay for that with our property taxes. So we don't know what the cost is, and we're being asked to vote on that. We have, again, no supporting documents on this. It appears that, again, it was a verbal communication and not in writing, so we have nothing to refer back to. But also, we just, in this past year, made changes to the public safety director's job description, and this was part of the public safety director's job description. So now we would be removing that from his authority, and are there going to be adjustments in the public safety director's compensation because he's being paid for that service, seeing he's not going to be providing that service? That's a question that the city council has to consider as well. Do we just remove that from the public safety director's job description and not make any changes? I think that needs to be part of what the council needs to take a look at. Normally, the mayor would say that's all in his jurisdiction of hiring and firing, and
Councilmember McDowell,
I'm speaking.
You are insinuating something that I have not said.
It's part of code that is the authority of the mayor, which was also came out in the investigation, which maybe I overstepped saying that the mayor was not an authority and then I was. And now the mayor is the personnel director and would make those decisions. But the council should also have consideration of the public safety director's job description and how much he's paid for the services he's providing. So I think there's still some concerns here because with this resolution, because we're presuming that these codes would just be struck from Houston Code with no details.
Well, to help clarify that for the council, the ordinances would have to be dealt with once the assembly allows us to understand what they plan to do. And it would certainly be our right at that time to not allow them to take up the powers. Right now, we're asking it just so that we can see what that would look like and that they can present a plan back to the city. But I agree, all those things would be in play, but as far as for the public safety's duties, he's got a lot of other things I would like to have him be working on, especially neighborhood watch things that would take a lot more of his time up if we could get some of those things going versus running around with dogs and cats and all the other things he gets to do, which I appreciate you, but appreciate your efforts there. But it would be saving money from our own city budget, which we pay them a contract fee already, and allow us to use those monies to further other things. And of course, the council would have choices to make in the future. What those will look like will have to depend on whether the borough will even do that. But they won't do it if we don't ask them.
So for clarification, this is just asking the borough to show us what that would look like. And if we decide that that doesn't fit with what we want as a city, then we don't have to participate.
I didn't hear that exactly. Could you repeat that?
I said for clarification, what you're asking is for us to just talk to the borough and ask them to show us what this would look like. And then if the city of Houston decides they don't want to participate in that, they can choose to do that?
Yes, we can do that. We can retain our own rights. We have our own rights now until we strike our animal control out of our code. So, I mean, we're not doing that now. What we're asking them to do now is to consider picking up the area-wide animal control, at which time they will present a plan back what that looks like, and the cities can either agree or disagree at that point. But with what the other, I mean, I think Wasilla pays them over $100 and some thousand, and Palmer pays them like 60. I think we pay them 40. Is that right, Chief? Something like that. So between those things that we're already paying, if that comes back to our own budgets, it'll let us deal with stuff within our city. And then borough-wide, they would raise whatever that cost is. I think he said $500,000 or something is what they were anticipating it to be. But until we all look at it, you're right. I mean, it's not a done deal until we actually repeal things or change things.
So essentially, we're just starting a conversation.
This is the start of the conversation until they see the council here. Unless they see the council interested in doing this, they're not gonna do anything.
Okay, thank you.
If I may, then I'd like to propose an amendment to reword the title on line 5, from the word borough, and the whole title would read, "A resolution of the Houston City Council requesting the Matanuska-Susitna Borough," and then it would change to submit details to provide area-wide services for animal control powers for council review. So it would just clarify that we are not actually requesting them to provide the services, but it would be requesting information. So we're just updating the title to say what you just said verbally.
That seems very appropriate to me.
I didn't understand.
I think she said that sounded very appropriate.
Oh,
to her.
Yeah, no.
Thank you.
I need a second.
I'll second it.
Sorry, I guess I should have said I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded to amend Resolution 2513, rewording line 5 in the title to a resolution of the Houston City Council requesting the Matanuska-Susitna Borough to submit details to provide area-wide services for animal control powers for council review. Councilmember Faubert,
Aye.
Councilmember Brazel,
Aye.
Councilmember Johansson,
Aye.
Councilmember McDonald,
Aye.
Councilmember Mitchell,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Childs,
Aye.
Mayor Cole.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. You ready for the main motion? As amended.
Yeah, anybody else have any comments? If not, take,
I do. We understand that this is, it's easy to focus on the financial part of this. And there's also the workload component for the public safety folks. But I think also to be considered when they come back, assuming they come back and say, this is what our offer to provide these services are, that service level is something that we consider. Currently, recently, I had to call. And almost immediately, I had Chief Hartley of Houston Public Safety on site, took care of the issue, arranged to have the animal taken to the Palmer, had the treats and the live cage and the whole 9 yards, and it happened almost immediately. You know, we could let them come back to us and say, okay, this is going to save you $10,000 a year. It's going to take X amount of hours off Chief Hartley, but when you call, you won't see us for 9 hours. I don't see a benefit for the city in that. So I think I just want to point out that when if they come back to us and say, it shouldn't just focus solely on the financials. I think there should be a service level agreement there with them that says, this is what we provide, giving us an out if that is not what they provide. If they say, we'll be there in 45 minutes, and they're consistently not here in 3 hours, there needs to be an out for the city.
I agree with it. That was actually discussed, Councilmember Brazel. They thought that they would take at least one more person to handle this west side. And the time frame, when we work with the borough now, Chief, what is it? We hold the dog for 2 days, is it?
I'm looking something up in the background at the same time. So the agreement that we have with them right now is we still handle it for the city, and then I'll pick up the animal. We hold on to it for the 3 or 5 days, depending on whether we know who the owner is or not. That's specified in code. At the end of that time, we take it to the Mat-Su Borough. The only time I make an exception for that is when the animal is obviously needing an immediate veterinary review. in which case we have the agreement with the borough that we take the animal directly to them so that their vet can assess the animal right away versus us having to pay very high fees. Because I don't know if anybody in here has pets, but to get it into to a veterinarian on the same day notice, the only way you're doing that is either through Tier 1 or Petty R in Anchorage. And those prices are significantly higher than having the borough help us on that. I just wanted to point out the council member, just bring one up at random. There's a call earlier today off of Kinnick Goose Bay, about the same distance from the Palmer shelter as our city is right here. From the time that the call was made for assistance, the borough animal control officer was on scene in 35 minutes. They do have a very good response time right now with the staffing that they have for the area that they have. Like the mayor said, they would have to increase their staffing if they were to pick up the 3 cities as inside their primary response area. And if the mayor is okay with that, I still see it as being a duty of the public safety department to protect the public health and public safety. If there's a loose animal that needs corralled, that would still be on my radar to secure that animal until the borough got there. We wouldn't just let a dangerous animal run wild in our community, waiting.
There's no doubt there are a lot of things that still have to be worked out on that, but the first step was to make the request. Anyone else? If not, let's do a roll call or a vote.
Voting on the main motion is amended. Resolution 2513, a resolution of the Houston City Council requesting the Matanuska-Susitna Borough to submit details to provide area-wide services for animal control powers for council review. Councilmember Mitchell,
Aye.
Councilmember Faubert,
Aye.
Councilmember Johansson,
Aye.
Councilmember McDonald,
Aye.
Councilmember Brazel,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Childs,
Aye.
Mayor Cole.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Brings us to audience comments. Would anybody like to comment for 3 minutes? Three.
Hi, my name's Karen Patrick, and I actually have, oh Lord, I just lost the note I wrote. Okay, I'm gonna wing it. First off, as far as the wood program goes, yes, it's awesome. I was a beneficiary of that last year, year before last. I don't need it anymore. I'm good on this year, so y'all don't need to drop any off to me. But I am very concerned about Public Works guys being taken off their other really important duties. As we all know, that's mainly the roads to do this. Councilman Mitchell actually brought up a good point. I have no doubt in my mind that there are plenty of gentlemen and or women in the area who would be willing to volunteer their time to work that processing plant. Maybe you guys could consider that, and it would say, let the guys keep doing their work on the roads, take care of that problem. Next thing, as far as, I noticed y'all got some new microphones, that's awesome, but sometimes hearing loss isn't a matter of volume, but a matter of clarity. I have nerve deafness. Is it possible to get like a screen up there with closed captioning? Because even sitting up front, there's, I don't know how to explain it. I can't always understand what's being said, especially when it's coming from the speaker back there. So maybe that's something to consider. And my last point I would like to make, and I know there's going to be some changes in who sits up here, but hopefully this word can get passed along. Your faces speak volumes, whether you're saying words or not. I've sat out there on the few meetings that I've attended and watched people roll their eyes and look out at the audience like, are you hearing this? It's all really disrespectful and less than professional. I would like to beg all of you, I know everybody's got personalities and opinions, and that's fantastic. We should have those. But please try to show some class. Don't roll your eyes. Don't bully each other. Don't accuse each other of things. Just try to have a little more professionalism, please, because it doesn't speak well for the city or those of us out here watching it, wondering if we should have brought popcorn or not. Yeah, please try to do better. That's all I have to ask.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Is there anyone else?
My name's Jim Johansson. First thing I want to discuss is the legal fees. $10,000 to go after somebody because she disagreed with you? Unsaid. I don't know how much you spent, because I haven't done a Freedom of Information Act yet, on how much you spent going after Mr. Stanistreet. And you didn't even show up to the court that day. How much money was wasted on that? I checked with the previous mayor. We're friends. Not once did we sue anybody. Not once did we send an entire legal team after another council member. Never had to. On the next part, the lack of information that's constantly being brought to these meetings. This has been happening since day one. That woman is incredibly smart. The city is about to lose a valuable asset because she's been bullied into leaving. And 100%, we talked to her as much as we could to try to keep her, but she understandably needs to go because she can't take it anymore, because she's being bullied constantly by multiple members of the council. But you also don't provide information. Our meetings, when I was on the city council, were very quick, very smooth. Like that one meeting where it was 2.5 hours on one subject that could have been solved in 5 minutes with an addendum. If you had the information in the packet, and Mr. Brazel's correct, that information should be provided. Everything should be detailed and laid out for every council member long before they ever come to this meeting, and have time to read it, not presented at the time of the meeting or we'll get to it later. That's not how it works. That's not parliamentary procedure. That's your procedure, because you've got enough people to go, yes, Mayor, we'll vote whatever you want. Hopefully, after tomorrow night, that changes.
Anyone else?
My name is John McDonald, and just one comment. We have the lawyer here. He's made one comment all night, probably $300 or $400 an hour, probably not necessary. You probably think I'm up here
Closer to the mic so we can.
probably think I'm up here to express my disdain for some of you, but I'm not. I think you should take the 50,000, buy cords of wood and give them to the people you want to give them to. I think take the 50,000, use local wood cutters and buy your cords of wood instead of using your road grader operators. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say to you guys. Thank you.
Is there anyone else that'd like to speak?
Move to this one since it's on camera for the. So Christian Hartley, I'm actually speaking on behalf of my position at the city, but also as a volunteer with Susitna Rotary Club. I want to give everybody an update on the progress at Little Susitna River Campground and the Little Susitna Rotary Park down there. There will be a work party this Saturday if anyone's bored. There's a lot going on Saturday. I'm going to go over here in a minute. But the crew that went down there over the last, I think it was 2 weeks total, Jason Kahn and Callie Courtney, along with Adam Rain, who used to be on our Parks and Rec Commission, have gone down there with a couple other residents from Houston and neighboring areas and done a lot of work. This weekend is going to be the last big push for this year. All of the posts are in, all of the main beams are in for the boardwalk over the swampy area. What this is the area in the park area along the trail that during breakup season and during heavy rain gets saturated with water and make it impassable for people that have walking difficulties or non-waterproof shoes. This is just a short boardwalk that covers that area. There will be a work party on Saturday from 10 to 3 to finish putting in the railings, the beams, the hand railings, and some very minimal work, just a lot of drilling. So anyone that can come down there, they could use the help. Adam is actually leaving the state. He's not available this weekend. Mr. Khan is taking the lead on explaining what blueprint language means to what lay people can understand and how to, where the drill bits go in. So we'll have someone there to help anyone that doesn't do it a lot to be able to still be of benefit. And then that boardwalk should be done before the snow falls. And the advantage of that is next spring, when breakup happens and all that area is saturated with water, you'll be able to walk over this boardwalk and stay on the trail. Never have to leave the trail to walk, make those paths through the woods that we all see everywhere. So it's going to be a huge benefit, and people will be able to see the nature really well. Also happening this Saturday, from 10 to 3, there's the Health Summit at Houston High School for people that are not already aware. Going down to that, paying attention, Councilmember Charles might be able to provide some information on that, I'm not sure. But there's going to be a lot of discussion at Houston High School about the health needs. Mat-Su Health Foundation is the one leading that conversation. From 10 to 3, also at the fire station down here is a shot and spay clinic. All the spays and fixings are already fully scheduled and booked, but there is still room for people to have animals that just need some shots, vaccinations, that kind of stuff. And then, like I said, from 9 to 5, that's what I understand. We'll find out later, but it's going to be the work party at the place. And the only other thing I would suggest, well, no, I'm not going to, I'm out of time. Thank you. I just want to let you guys know an update on the area.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Anyone else? The audience? No? Love to hear from you if you 3 minutes. Okay. Brings us down to council and clerk and mayor's comments. Councilmember Johansson.
I would just like to thank all of the public that came out tonight. We sit up here because of you guys. I say that every time, but it's true. We're here for you to do our best for the city. We all have our visions. We all have a certain way that we want to see things done, but the ultimate goal is to make this city the best it can be for all of us that live here. And that's always my #1 goal. So thank you all for coming out. Even if you don't talk, that's fine. You're sitting here, you're participating just by coming up here and giving up your evening to listen to the popcorn festival that's going on. So thank you for coming out here and doing that. I appreciate it. I'd like to thank the chamber and Rosemary for the donation. For those of us that have been around a long time, Rosemary is a force to be reckoned with. She has a lot of Houston history, and I appreciate her taking the time tonight to come out here and talk to us and to present that donation. And the same goes for Mr. Hall. We really appreciate those donations that go towards making things better for our community, because once again, that's what it's about, making things better for our town. That's all we're here for. That we're all ultimately going for the same goal. We want it to be better.
We have the trunk or treat coming up at the end of the month on October 26th. So I'd like to challenge all my fellow council members, grab a spot, come out, hand out candy to the kids and the dogs, because there's a lot of dogs that come out and they're super cute. So come out, meet your people, meet your community, hang out. Fire department, we're always there. We're the first ones as you come into trunk or treat. So come hang out with us, grab a spot. It's always a good time. And I think, and thank you, Chief, for your update. Thank you to Ms. Courtney and Mr. Khan for your work on that. If anybody hasn't been down there to that area to see all the changes that have been made in a really short time, definitely go check it out. It's looking great. And when you drive by, like, the traffic has increased so much with people going down there. I've never seen that area get used so much. It's been a huge change in people using that. So please go down there, see all the hard work they've put in, and check it out. And other than that, thank you again for coming out and being a part of your community. I greatly appreciate you, all of you. So thank you.
Joe, would you like to give us an update on where we were on the case?
Yes.
Maybe where we are.
This is Joe Levesque. I'm the city attorney. And regarding the Stanna Street case, what happened was the attorney that was handling that miscalendared the date, and he had it calendared for a month later. And so we have filed a motion to set aside the judgment. The judgment was not with prejudice, so we can still pursue that. But the real problem is that the Palmer Court is so busy, and they put out all these bulletins saying that the criminal cases come first and the civil cases all come later, and that's why this thing is even drug out as long as it has. So anyway, we're waiting for the judge to do that. A little surprised that the judge didn't call the attorney. So that's it. We're hoping any day to have the judge put it back on the calendar.
I'll keep it nice and short. We have a whole lot of meetings here coming up in the next 2 weeks. And we see a lot of the same faces, so I really appreciate everybody coming. Hopefully the fatigue of it over the last couple of weeks and the coming weeks doesn't diminish the number of folks that are in seats. Lots of changes coming, so I look forward to us coming out the other side of that and just continuing to move forward and doing the best we can for the city.
Clerk, do you have anything?
The canvas is on Friday at 3 o'clock, and you're welcome to come and watch. Download the app. Gives you lots of information. That's all I have.
Okay. Councilmember Dunn?
Thank you for coming this evening. And this is my last official regular meeting. And with that, I have to say that it has been interesting. And I was not new to this process, and so I knew exactly what I was getting into, maybe, maybe a little bit more. But I have a heart for transparency and truth, and I think that is what I have determined to present to the community. And I think that I have fulfilled my mission. And possibly you may see me back up here again. I may venture to serve as a council member again. And I have appreciated your support and your encouragement and the letters that I have gotten, emails, and just words of encouragement along the way. So for those of you who are listening and for those of you in the audience that have come alongside, I greatly appreciate it. And I appreciate having you as neighbors and calling you friends. Thank you.
Councilmember Mitchell?
Yeah, just thank you. Mr. Hartley, I appreciate all that you do, and we're very sorry to hear about what happened, and we are thinking about you and praying for you and your family. And just very grateful to have someone like you in this town. We're blessed to have you. So thank you for all you do. Thank you all to the city staff, everyone that works so hard for the city, the volunteers, Jason and Courtney, or Callie, and Adam Rain, all the work that he's done on that Rotary Park. Unbelievable amount of time he spent there from the beginning of it, getting all the red tape they had to go through to get all that dug out, get that whole thing built. It is a beautiful place. We love going there as a family. We've gone there as a church to baptize people in the river. It's an awesome place. We just love that park. So I'm excited to see that continue with all the volunteers that are going to work this Saturday. As far as the hearing impaired, at our church, we have a little antenna that plugs into the speaker system. Very simple system, not very expensive at all. And you can put a headset on and you can hear everything very clearly. We have people in our church that can't hear very well, so everything that's set into the microphone comes very clear in the headset. So maybe that's something we could look into for the sound system. Have a few headsets in the back for hearing impaired so they can hear everything, because it's got to be frustrating to come to the meeting and not understand most of it or get to all the information. So thank you. And thank you for the reminder that our faces have subtitles. That is important. I appreciate that. Sometimes I don't think about what my face is doing, even though I'm got my mouth shut. So thank you for that. I'm excited moving forward with whatever the outcome of the eventual outcome of the election. We know some of the stuff that has happened until the canvas board meets tomorrow. I'm excited for the future of Houston, and just to remind everyone that we are on a team, that we are team players, that anyone who sits in these seats, we are not against each other. We are on a team, and we do celebrate the laws, but we also celebrate the freedoms that we have. We do have the freedom of speech in this country, and I love that. I absolutely love it. I never want to see it squashed. You can say whatever you want to, but you can't say whatever you want to without consequence. That is absolutely true. So we have to watch our words. We have to guard what we say. We have to understand that our words do have consequences. We teach our kids this all the time. My words have consequences, and I've said things on this council that have been disrespectful, and for that, I'm sorry. I need to own my words. And an investigation into my conduct would not be harassment. It would be accountability. And I expect the same for myself as I do for anyone else on the council. We are in a position of leadership. We are the example to the city. And that should be considered every time we open our mouths and speak. Not just what we say, but also the manner in which we say it. Tone is everything, as my wife and I both know. The way that we speak to each other matters. And with that, just thank you to the public for coming out. Thank you guys for supporting the city. I know that everyone is here because you care about the place you live, and you care about how things are done in the place that you live. And it's important that you guys continue to come and share your comments, your opinions, your thoughts, your ideas. This is how we work together as a community to do amazing things together. So thank you guys for your continued participation. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the future. I think Houston has a bright future, no matter who sits in these seats. Houston is a great place to live, and I think we can work together in a better way to make things happen as a community. So thank you guys. Oh, I'm sorry. One more thing. Sure. Is that okay? I wanted to thank Councilmember Faubert for her service to the city. She's an incredible person. She's not here tonight because she is serving someone in need, and that is who she is at her core. And I will say this, anyone who says anything otherwise about Councilmember Faubert is ignorant, and I'll say that with confidence, because she served this council with all of her heart. She loves this city. She serves everyone in need. She has met me to pull homeless people off the mountain. She's an incredible person. And nothing evil or bad or negative should ever be said about her. She does everything she can to live her life to serve people. And I love that about her. So thank you, Councilmember Faubert, for your service to this city. I appreciate you.
I would second that.
So just to pick up where Chief left it in my lap with the Matsu Health Foundation, They're an incredible organization that funds a lot of really positive initiatives within our city, within our borough. And this function on Saturday from 9 to 3. One of the things that I'm not sure if it made it on the flyer or not, that I asked the clerk, and she did post it on the city website, is that they're offering transportation, free transportation, food throughout the day, and daycare. So they really, really want the voice of the people of Houston to be representing in helping direct them towards identifying what are our community health needs. And those are not just physical health, but also mental health needs. And that includes recreation, improving parks. They have a large amount of money to draw from, and they really like identifying places to put that benefit our communities at large. So encourage people to go show up for that. The people that I've been in contact there with, they earnestly believe in the well-being of our community, and they fund other programs. Like we've had Tyler Healy here and Madeline Emmy presenting about the Youth 360 programs that are they're every day. You know, they're using those portables out at Houston High to do really, really good things. And that said, there was an incident of vandalism that took place at one of the portables in August, and they've reached out with a message of they need support to help try to maybe replace some of those consumables that they use there for their projects. But what I really liked was their message had nothing to do with, you know, trying to identify who perpetrated this. It was just, we move forward. And I think that's the best message that we can put into our community in all regards, in all respects, is to move forward with positivity, constructivism, and make it the best place we can. And with that, that's the end of my comments.
I'd just like to give one more detail to their fair that they're having there at Houston High School. I was actually going to attend, but then I called them today and told them that I will not, because it's actually set up for citizens just to go there, present your ideas, and they will put you together, and you'll be voting on your ideas, and they will be funding some of those ideas. I thought it was a little unfair if I went there, so I didn't really understand the structure of it at first, so I called back and said, yeah, I'm not going to show up there. So not to worry, go there with your ideas, and it would be like doing a very quick CIP process. It'll all be done in one day, and they're going to feed you, and so I encourage you to go there and represent Houston, because there's people from Big Lake that's going to go get money there, and we need citizens that will show up there and do it, and they really want to hear from the community. Second thing is we have Melissa would have covered this had she not been sick today, but she has put a survey online, or what? Not a survey. What's the word I want? A poll type thing. Of if you have time, go there and weigh in, because we have a contract with a designer, and we're trying to point him in the direction. The most people that vote on a particular layout, we're going to put effort in the top two. So go there and make sure that you put your information in on that. Yes. Oh. I'm going to pause for a minute because Councilmember Faber is still online and I don't want to miss her. So thank you, Clerk, for reminding me of that. Laura, would you like to say some words?
Yes. There's not a lot that hasn't already been said, and at the risk of living up to my nickname, I'd like to echo those sentiments. I would also like to say that I appreciate every single person that comes to our community with good intentions and effort and hope and energy to make where we live the wonderful place that I know it can be. I want to say that I've always been very honored to sit as a councilwoman and serve our community. And I will continue to do so, even though I may not be sitting in that seat. And I wish the people coming in all the best, and I hope that they make great decisions and move forward with the good work that we have put forth and continue prosperity for our city. Thank you so much. And to Councilwoman Mitchell and to Mayor Cole, thank you for your kind words. I appreciate it greatly.
Well, you earned them. Been a pleasure to work with you. In my closing things, I do want to say that Deputy Mayor Childs and Council Member Mitchell and our attorney had worked for about a year on different back and forth on ethics and our stuff to make the council interact better. So hopefully we will have a good set of conduct where we will have some method in the future. And I don't know why it was ever taken out of the code to start with, but I hope that we can get something put in right away so that it will help us all have a 0 point to come back to and say, okay, this is the point, so that we actually do serve the public correctly. I will have additional comments on other things at the next meeting, and I appreciate the council, and I was the one that actually made the mistake on the ordinance, so I will certainly do that, get you additional information on that. If there's anything you think of between now and then, shoot me an email. I'll make sure it's included in the packet that goes out tomorrow. Yes. With that said, we will adjourn at 8:15.
Laurie Faubert.